I'm Theresa Vee, and I help spiritual sensitives use their superpowers to create a life that they love in this world that they serve. Today we're talking about how to know and trust when your angels, your spirit guides, and even your loved ones who have gone before you are communicating with you. Communication that is coming from the light, that is coming from our angels and our guides, will always come back. So we never have to worry that we are going to miss the opportunity. You will always feel safe. The communication that comes from our angels feels like a hug. It feels warm. It feels inviting and even familiar. When we speak of warm, it's more the feeling of warm. It's more warm in our heart center because sometimes the vibration of angels or of our intuition or of divine beings of any kind will bring us the chills. It doesn't mean if you get the chills of knowing or the goosebumps that let you know that something is true, you shouldn't listen to those. Those are absolutely valid ways for your body to interpret energy. And it may not feel warm, but underneath, it will feel peaceful. It will feel sure that what you are receiving is safe and is of the light. Communication from our angels and our guides can happen through any of our spiritual senses. So we need to look to our vision, our hearing, our feeling, and our knowing or our thoughts. This type of communication never ever feels threatening. Even if it's a warning or seeks to pull us out of our comfort zone a little bit, it will still feel safe and loving. It will feel peaceful and good beneath what's making us feel mildly uncomfortable because of our propensity for wanting to stay in our comfort zone. Sometimes it might even feel like feathers have touched your skin, a lot of times arms or shoulders or the upper back, and sometimes on the head or face as well. So for those of us who are more kinesthetic, they will communicate in that way first. You might even feel a presence with you. Even if you haven't necessarily worked with them before, their energy will feel familiar to you. And this is also how we perceive our deceased loved ones if they're coming to visit us. Sometimes we will feel their presence or smell something that is related to them, whether it be a cologne or smoke or a scent of anything that reminds us of them. It will feel peaceful no matter what our relationship was with them when they walked on this planet. When we're talking about communication with our angels, it's not something we have to try really hard to do. They are always there. They are always communicating with us. So it's just a matter of us taking our thoughts to a still point as much as possible, coming to a still point with our energy and being receptive. That's the biggest mistake so many of us make. We always feel like we have to keep reaching and keep trying when all we need to do is slow down our energy. And this can happen even if your body is not slowed down. Some of us meditate and get into that space of quiet while running or while painting. So whatever it is for you that brings your energy to that still point, that is when you are most primed to receive this type of communication. It may be out of the blue, or it may be in response to a question that you've been pondering. It may be in response to you seeking guidance. It may also be apropos of nothing, but underneath it all, there's a feeling that this is real. There's a knowing that it was real. And it's only when our head starts to get involved and question the validity of what we've just experienced that we pull ourselves out of that knowing and feeling and of being certain about what we just received. We will always leave these types of communication experiences feeling empowered, feeling good, held, and loved, even if we're being called out of our comfort zone, if we're being called to make changes, or if we're being warned of something that could potentially happen in the future. Everything involving communication with our guides and our angels always feels loving and good. It will feel true. Often our angels will speak to us using language or a way of speaking that is not native to us. So it's not the way we would normally speak, so that we can avoid questioning, is this my own thought? Is this guidance? What is this? So different vocabulary, different visuals. Sometimes communication can come through visuals also. So they may show you visuals that you would never put together yourself, or you would never equate with the situation that you're asking about. They're always looking for the path of least resistance and for the way of communicating with you that feels the safest, that feels like you can open more and more. They don't want to frighten us. They don't want to overwhelm us, because having us shut down to our relationship with them doesn't do anyone any good at this point. Their whole life purpose is to help us to be in a space of peace so that we could radiate that peace out to the rest of the world. And the key to radiating that peace out is to be in peace ourselves. So if we're walking around scared that an angel might communicate with us, or that it might happen in a way that is unsettling to us, that does us no good. We are closing off to that intuitive part of ourselves and that very natural stream of communication. Our angels and guides will use you or we terms. They'll say you blah blah blah, or we blah blah blah. They will almost never use the word I. The only time that they will use the word I is in self-identification. You've probably heard me say at one point or another, I am Michael, I am Raphael. That is the only time where you will hear I used. They are expressing what energy is coming through to you in a way that you can understand it. When we have these types of communication, it will feel like you're in a conversation with somebody else. It will feel like there's somebody else speaking to you, even if that voice comes from inside. You will feel that conversational push-pull energy that happens, even if the conversation is completely one-sided. You'll sense that someone else is speaking to you. You might even sense them being there with you. Sometimes you might not understand the words or the content, but you'll hear a high-pitched frequency in one or the other of your ears. And this very often happens randomly. That's the time when the angels or our guides are doing what we call downloading. So they're giving us information that we can't necessarily perceive yet, we can't understand yet, but it's downloaded to us. And then that energy opens up and blossoms within us into wisdom that we've integrated, into knowingness that we have embodied. It's amazing because you'll see over time that all of a sudden you will say something that you don't think you've ever learned, and that's how it came to you. Now pay attention if you're somebody who is receiving these high-pitched frequencies, and pay attention to which ear you're receiving it in, because that is your dominant ear for clairaudience. Angelic messages and messages from your guides are clear and to the point. They just tell you what they need to tell you, and they're done communicating. You can ask questions and they'll be open to communicating more, but their answers are always very clear and very to the point. Sometimes a very strong gut feeling is the way your angels, your guides, your inner guidance, your body is communicating with you in a way that can be received the clearest at that moment in time. So always listen to your gut, because that's another form of communication that we take for granted most of the time. This kind of communication is always focused on helping, either helping us as individuals or helping us to help the world. So remember that that's a qualification for this type of communication. It's always help focused. It's always empowerment focused. It's always guidance focused. There will never be discomfort, excess loudness, discouraging or frightening ways of communicating when we're dealing with our angels and our guides. There will be no cruelty. There will be no harm. It will always feel rich with love and joy. Fill your heart up. Leave you with a full feeling or a full heart. If you feel that you're receiving communication and you're not quite sure what that communication is, you can keep asking your angels to communicate with you in a more clear way. You can invite them to come closer if that feels good to you, to take form or show themselves as color. Let them know what would feel the most comfortable, but always do that with regard to your predominant spiritual sense that is open. So if you're somebody who sees more than anything else, always work with them, telling them, I would like to see colors, or I would like you to leave me feathers. If you're somebody who hears, would you feel comfortable with them calling your name or giving you messages that sound like there's a voice in the room? How would you like that communication to happen? If your predominant sense is feeling, what are your boundaries around what's too much and what's not enough? You can always keep asking them. You can always keep communicating with them to let them know what feels good to you, that they never want us to feel uncomfortable. And your angels, your guides, will always, always, always give you action steps. They will give you one action step and ask you to take that action. So they're showing you and guiding you to the action. It's your job now to take that action. They cannot interfere with your free will choice unless it is a matter of life and death and it is not your time to die. When we work with angels, it's very important that we take the steps that they are giving us the guidance that we're seeking to take. At the same time, don't think that you missed an opportunity if you didn't take the action because you were not ready. It will come back again. There will be another opportunity. The angels will make sure of that because everything will support your happiness, your peace, and it may show up in a completely different way. But rest assured, you will never ever miss an opportunity. And the best part of all of this is that once you take that action step, the next step will be revealed. You may have to stay where you are for a little while, but they will always reveal the next step when the time is right. They don't push you 10 steps ahead because that is overwhelming and that often leads us to inaction. So they will just guide us one step at a time. If you are in any type of communication with beings on the other side and you feel uncomfortable, frightened, sick, nauseous, cold, or maybe even paralyzed because of the fear, end that communication immediately by calling on Archangel Michael, asking him to come into your space. Clear your space with you. This will set you up for future communication where you are communicating with beings of the light only. You have the power to say, before you open any lines of communication, that you only wish to communicate with beings of the highest light. And that is really, really important. Make your statement. Claim your space. Claim the way the energy exchange is going to go. And universe has no choice but to align itself with your wishes and your will. I hope that this information helps you to understand better when you are receiving messages from your angels, your guides, your divine team, and maybe even your loved ones who have crossed over. I hope that it helps you to open up to the possibility of deepening that connection. Thank you, as always, for being here and being part of this community and sharing these videos with people who need this information and would like to learn more. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button and let us know. If you would like to connect more with the angels, join our next Angel Transformation Hour. The link is in the description of this video or in the comments below. If you would like to receive messages from your angels directly to your inbox, tap the link in the description of this video or in the comment section below for our Angelic Love Notes. I look so forward to connecting with you again soon. I am so grateful for you, for the way you show up every day, and for the energy that you anchor on this planet. We'll talk soon. Goodbye, everybody.